Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I want to talk about if having a lower field of view actually gives you more aim assist. This was inspired because one of the best Call of Duty players in the entire world, Reidboy, who's the very first person to get every camo gold in Modern Warfare 2, he plays he plays Modern Warfare 2 at 80 field of view despite it having an FOV slider on console. So you have to think about this. One of literally the best Call of Duty players in the entire world is playing at 80 field of view despite having the option to play at a higher field of view. And because of him using 80 field of view, I've seen a lot of people claim that this means that you get more aim assist on lower field of view than if you're playing on a higher field of view. When I've tested this, and if you test it, there are two things that seem to be true. You do seem to have a little bit stronger slowdown aim assist, but this doesn't mean you get quote unquote more aim assist. And the second thing you notice is you have a lot more visual recoil on a lower field of view. So to me, this is really going to be something you have to consider. When you're at a field of view like 105, 120, 115, whatever, the character models on your screen are way smaller than if you were playing on 80 field of view. So when you are going across them with your right stick, because their character model takes up a higher percentage of your screen, this means in theory you have a much larger area to trigger the aim assist bubble. When you're trying to trigger aim assist and get rotational or slow down aim assist, you essentially have to envision that there's a little bubble surrounding their character. And if you contract this and trigger this aim assist bubble, you're going to get aim assist. So if you have a more zoomed in field of view, which makes the characters of your enemies bigger on your screen and takes up a bigger percentage of your overall screen, this probably means in theory you have a bigger aim assist bubble. However, this doesn't account for things like visual recoil. This doesn't account for things like rotational aim assist, which seems to be the same strength regardless of field of view. And this doesn't take into account all those times you're going to miss people because you're playing on a low field of view. One of his reasonings for using a low field of view in Modern Warfare 2 in particular is because you die so fast anyways. What's the point of having that big of a field of view? Because you'll be dead before you can even react. And while I kind of agree, in long range fights, if you're playing ground war invasion like I commonly do, you want to have a bigger field of view. This means you can see more people. This helps you spot the bots that you can farm for easy weapon XP. This helps you spot snipers. It just helps you not get killed. And I think for Warzone 2, you're going to want a little bigger field of view. I'm not saying you have to play on 120 field of view, but what I am saying is that if you do consider everything I just said, there is not an objective best field of view. Someone like Reidboy is going to find a ton of success playing on 80 field of view because that's what they're used to, that's what they're the best at, and that's something they're really good at in general. He's an insanely good Call of Duty player. But if you were to go through a list of all of the best Call of Duty players in the world on Warzone in multiplayer, which I'd definitely put Reidboy up there, very few would have 80 field of view. He's the rarity. He's the exception. Just because he can do it doesn't mean everyone should do it. And this is very similar to me with my high sensitivity. I use this sensitivity anywhere between 12, 14, 14. It depends what controller I have, what I'm doing, if I'm sniping a lot more. It just depends. But I use a high sensitivity. And a lot of the best players in the world, they don't use a high sensitivity like that. I don't slow down my ADS multiplier. I just use it at a very high sensitivity with a very high multiplier, and I just find success with it because that's what I'm comfortable with. But I would not recommend that for most people. I'd recommend having a decently fast sensitivity so you can track people's movement, but you don't need to be playing on my sensitivity, and the same thing goes for this field of view. You might find success playing at 80 field of view, but maybe try 95, try 100 field of view, try 105, 110, and see how it feels. I would just try all of the options. Because in some ways, if you do have a lower field of view, I have to concede, it does seem to give you a little bit more aim assist. It's not noticeable enough where I think it actually helps you win a tremendous amount of gunfights, but I do think some people foolishly think that playing on 120 field of view is absolutely just better. I played the vast majority of my Warzone career on a PS5, so I played at 80 field of view for the vast majority of the time. However, when I switched to PC in February of this year, one thing I noticed when I was playing Caldera, because I was getting in so many more long-range engagements, and the 120 field of view felt too zoomed out, I had to lower my field of view to about 105 to feel comfortable. I was so used to how zoomed in 80 field of view was that for me to spot people at distances and to win long range gunfights, I kind of needed to actually come back and lower my field of view a little bit. But on the flip side, once I stopped playing Caldera and was only playing Rebirth Island and Fortune's Keep the past couple months, well, I went the exact opposite direction. I started up in my field of view closer to 120. I'm at about 112, 113 right now, I think, maybe even 115. But the reason for this is because I'm in a lot more close range gunfights. And this means that I actually want a higher field of view. When you have a more zoomed in field of view, close range gunfights are a lot more difficult because it becomes difficult to track people, especially if they have good movement. And having a more zoomed out view is really going to help you win the gunfight. So this is where you have to take in context. This is where you have to factor in your own personal setup and everything like that. And you have to factor in your own playstyle. I think for Warzone 2, you're going to want to find a middle ground between something around 100, 110. Something like that I think is going to be perfect. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this kind of helped you understand a little bit more about field of view and if it genuinely does give you more aim assist. I just want to say thank you guys for watching the videos. It's been Ryan. I hope you have a good day. Peace.